everything we know about Delves and the War Within from Mr. GM, we know Delves are going to be that open world content. We know that they're going to be related to the Vault. You're going to actually have Vault slots related to open world content. They're getting rid of the PvP slots. I'm excited to see this. I'm excited for Delves. I think it's going to be cool content. Let's check out more about Delves and everything we know.
Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about Delves in the War Within and all the information that we currently know about Delves from BlizzCon and various interviews. So if you watch BlizzCon, there might not be a ton of new info here, but yeah, if you haven't or just didn't catch everything there, this is the video for you. But before we jump into all of that, guys, I just want to shout out my Twitch, twitch.tv/MrGM. You know, see me stream World of Warcraft, Dragonflight, War Within Alpha, Season of Discovery, and more. I'm over on Twitch.
We rate him all the time. He's a good guy.
Every single day. Right, so yes, one of the major features coming in the War Within is Delves. Now, we got a ton of information about Delves, but no gameplay footage or screenshots or anything like that, so this video will be pretty much lacking in all of that. So there'll be a lot of like random B-roll from BlizzCon and things like that. So apologies for that. Right. Obviously, once we get into Alpha, I'm going to do a full system overview of Delves and everything.
Delves are probably the next best, announcement that came after Hero Talents. And by best, I mean like, I'm not necessarily, I don't think Hero Talents are going to be great or not great. We don't really know much about them yet. They haven't even been tested. But Delves are that next big feature, right? This is something that's being added to the game. It's supposed to be evergreen. We're supposed to get these for the rest of our lives in World of Warcraft. But this is the first introduction to open world progression content, which I love. I think open world shit is great in World of Warcraft. It brings the world back to World of Warcraft. I remember back in the day raiding capital cities. I mean, that content was awesome. That was so much fun to do. So I do hope they do more open world content that's relevant and not just a stupid world boss that, after the first week you've outgeared and it's stupid to even, you don't even go kill him anymore. This stuff is supposed to be more evergreen. This stuff's supposed to open up your vault slots. It's supposed to do different things. So I'm excited for Delves, and I hope it's going to be a great feature, hopefully.
That you need to know, but let's go through everything we do know from BlizzCon and subsequent interviews.
Upgrading your followers.
So Delves, as mentioned, are coming in the War Within, but this is going to be a evergreen feature for World of Warcraft. We will see this continue into Midnight and The Last Titan and beyond as a evergreen feature of the game. These are 10 to 15 minute adventures in the outside world. However, they will be instants, and I'll explain a little bit about that in a second. These scale from 1 to 5 players and are role agnostic, so you could bring 5 DPS, 3 DPS, cool. 3 healers, whatever you want. And
yeah, the no role thing is pretty good, especially like right now. It seems like there are 2 people playing healers in the entire World of Warcraft. Like in all the MMO, there are 2 people who are playing healers right now. So it will be pretty cool to not have to wait for specific classes or roles to queue up to do
the Delve should scale appropriately to that. Now, this feature is designed for outdoor world players, so people who just do world quests or world events and things
HD Freeze, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Welcome to our Scourge.
Like that. This is going to be a new endgame pillar for them. This is obviously an option for gearing for people who do dungeons and raids, but it sounds like it probably won't be mandatory for them to do that as a gearing path. This is just another option for people who like to play in the outside world, like myself, who doesn't do a ton of like dungeons and raids and things like that. Delves are going to be completely repeatable with no lockout, which is really cool. I really like that a lot. However, some of the better loot will be locked behind a different system, a key system, which we'll explain later on when we talk about the rewards.
Sure.
There's also no timer related to Delves, which is really great. Nice. And they will also be cross-factions, so if you have Horde Alliance friends, that's going to be great. You can jump into the Delves with them. So as mentioned before, this is instance content, but it is in the outside world, so you can't queue for these. This is something that you will have to physically run to. However, maybe that will change depending on feedback, and this is integrated into the outdoor experience. This will use...
I'm okay with open world content being something that you have to venture through the open world to get to. I think we're getting a little bit too spoiled with the portals going everywhere. You just want to port to every fucking thing. How about you actually explore the world, man? I mean, I know we are, as WoW players, we are classified as ultimate degenerates of society, but I think we can huff it over somewhere. Hoof it, I should say, huff it. Hoof it over somewhere and actually get on your damn mount or your dynamic, flying mount at least and just get to us fucking spot. actually explore the world a little bit.
It's the seamless instance tech, or the airlock tech, that we saw in the Zeralak Cavern, so there won't be any loading screens as you go into it. From the sounds of it, it sounds like you go through like an instance portal, but instead of a loading screen, it'll teleport you into the instance experience of the Delve, which sounds really cool, and I'm curious to see how that'll work in practice. What Blizzard have said about Delves is that this has taken all the lessons learned from Torghast, Islands, Visions, Scenarios, Sniff Seeking, and kind of put it all into one, taking all that feedback.
I still say till today, Islands could have been really cool. Unfortunately, I think that the progression of Islands got halted by the team having to basically put all hands on deck to fix Azerite armor, even though we told them Azerite armor was going to suck before the shit even came out. But they had to fix Azerite armor, so Islands kind of got pushed to the side, and I think Islands could have been a really cool thing. I still think that might come back in some version. Maybe this is that version.
Positives and the negatives, and turned it into Delves, which, as mentioned, is a evergreen feature that we will see continue beyond the War Within. As for the difficulty of Delves, they did say that it will have different difficulties, scaling up, of course, and giving you better rewards as you scale up. Again, not too sure on the specifics of the difficulty progression there, but they did say it will have different difficulties doing that. What they've said about Delves, and what's cool about it, is that they said this is kind of a fun playground for the developers to play in regards to mechanics. So you're going to see a lot of mechanics that you might not see in dungeons, as they're like not timed and there's no pressure for DPS and things like that. You're just going to have like a fun jumping puzzle, or there's going to be these crazy things that happen, or
could be cool.
It's just going to be a bit more wild and crazy and a bit more experimental than your average dungeon. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they mean by all of that. Obviously, once we get to play it and test it out a little bit in alpha. One thing that's going to happen inside this Delve is that actually you're going to have an NPC companion with you, and this is a seasonal companion, and the Season 1 companion is...
They're probably going to use that new AI technology that they're using for the current, those dungeon runs that you can do with just a bunch of AI. This is pretty cool, and I feel like we're going to see more AI-related characters in the game.
And Bronzebeard
it's the
coming
flashy
back,
word,
so that's
AI,
really cool.
gotta use that.
This will be a smart NPC, similar to something that you've seen maybe in the Death of Chromie scenario, or the follower dungeon technology, of course. So yeah, this kind of tech is going to be used in Delves, and I'm curious to see how well it'll actually operate with Bran helping you out in the Delve. Now, Bran is completely customizable. He'll have a talent tree of sorts. We can pick where he helps you out as like a tank or healer or DPS, and they've also said that this is going to be a account-wide, so perhaps a bit of progression there in regards to upgrading Bran in Season 1.
I didn't know that was a feature.
Yeah, account-wide is great, so that's going to be really cool to see. And they also said that this will have a narrative tie-in. So in Season 2, the character will be different, and it will tie into the first patch of The War Within, so curious to see how that will work.
I wonder then if you can jack out your Bran, jack off your Bran, maybe. I don't know. It's a different game, probably. But if you jack up your Bran, you get him all buffed up and you get all the talents and everything completely fleshed out, and then you go run it with your ults with your big boy Bran, it's probably going to be a great way to, do catch-up gear and stuff like that, because it goes towards the vault, too. So this will probably be, like, a really good alt gearing out thing.
Work. So from launch, there are 13 Delves that have been announced. So in the Isle of Dawn, they've got the Earthcrawl Mines, the Kriegvul Rest, and the Fungal Folly. In the second zone, the Ringing Deeps, you'll have the Waterworks and the Dread Pit. In the third zone, Hallowfall, you'll have the Skittering Breach, the Nightfall Sanctum, the Sinkhole, and the Mycomancer Cavern. Ooh. And in the final zone, Archgehet, you'll have the Spiral Weave, the Rakrethan Abyss, and the Deep Walker Hold. They did also say there will be one secret delve in Season 1, so we have to keep an eye out for that and see what's going on with the secret delve and what that entails. They also did say that delves are going to be kind of procedurally generated in a way that, so not every time they're going to be exactly the same, which is really cool. Obviously using a little bit of the Island Expedition tech there, which is going to be really fun. So I'm hoping they're varied enough that when you do it on repeat goes, they're not just going to be exactly the same each time. So looking forward to that. So that's pretty much all the info we have about delves and how they operate as a system. Now let's talk about the rewards, of course, the most important part. So they said that most delves will end by beating a boss or completing a puzzle or some other similar activity, and then you'll end up in a treasure room. Now this treasure room will have various chests of different shapes and sizes. Some of them you can open for free, which will have a seasonal currency.
You know what, this reminds me of the Visions of N'Zoth shit, where you complete it and then there's a couple treasure boxes at the end. depending on how well you did in it. That's what this
Besides some
reminds me of.
items, possibly some transmog, but they're also extra large, resplendent chests.
Probably
now,
how
this
it'll
is
be
where
based
the
on how you did.
limitations
You get
come
more
in.
loot.
So resplendent chests need keys. Now, these keys come from outdoor world content, weekly quests, things like that, and
Oh,
it sounds like
interesting.
they're going to be limited per week. The reason for the resplendent chests to be locked behind keys is the intention here is to pace out the best rewards that are on par with other PvE content,
Oh,
so they're
okay.
not infinitely grindable as like an insane source of gearing. They did say the items that you might see in here
Yeah,
are
it's,
kind of
it's basically a degenerate, backstop, right? It's like Blizzard always has to create these things because they know that we have no self-control and we'll just grind out stupid-ass shit to get gear quicker. So this is that filter that will stop that from happening. So this is like that once a week. Oh, you can get a really good piece of gear, but you really only got one shot a week at it. And then you just
going to
grind
be
out for
on par
transmog
with like
or
the
something.
end boss of Heroic or Mythic 10 to 15, and that is far better than any
Gold
other
making
outside
would be
world
nice,
content
Boomba,
loot
I
we've
agree.
ever seen in World of Warcraft. So that seems pretty good. Obviously, the specifics of the limitation we'll see more once we get into Alpha. As for other rewards in Delves, we will of course be getting
This.
a new mount.
Yeah,
this is
this
a
looks cool.
customizable dynamic flying mount, which looks amazing. They did
I for a while I forgot about this because they mentioned it so quickly in passing at BlizzCon. But this customizable mount, right now, if you pre-order the game, the War Within, you pre-order the expansion, you get the what's it called, Algarian Storm Rider mount, and you can kind of customize it a little bit. This is like taking that to a whole nother level, and I actually think this would be really cool to be able to have a mount that's the same as the guy next to you, but customized completely out. It's basically the dragon riding, shit that we have now, where you can customize your dragon. But this looks really cool. I mean, all this different gadgets and stuff you can attach reminds me of Mario Kart.
show a preview of it at BlizzCon. This will be customizable through the rostrum, similar to how we customize our dragon riding drakes. So that's going to be a lot of fun. They did also say there's going to be some silly hat transmogs and various other transmogs that we're going to get from this,
Yeah,
which I'm very
camera
much looking
hats,
forward
nice,
to.
okay.
The preview looked super fun. So yeah, excited to see what else we can get from Delves in
Is
the
that a
form of
Murloc
silly
skull?
hats and things like that in transmog. Of course, as you expect, there'll be achievements, titles, and of course there will be item rewards, which do obviously scale. And finally as well, the coolest part of this
Yes,
is that
the
it's all
vault
going to be
slot,
added
yeah.
to the Great Vault. So in
Gone.
the War Within,
PvP.
there will be a world row on the Great Vault, and doing delves will contribute to this. In the screenshot, we did see that it's 1 delve, 4 delves, or 9 delves as the final tier of the Great Vault,
Cool.
or it says other world activities, so that could include potentially world quests or world bosses or things like that. I guess we'll have to see specific.
I would love if they made it like kill one capital city boss. That would be amazing. Imagine that. I know we're supposed to be all friendly now. We don't do that shit anymore, but still, man. I used to love fucking raiding a
Of
city.
that once we get into Alpha.
Imagine
but yeah,
getting a
that
vault
is
slot for it.
basically everything we know about Delves right now. Unfortunately, as
Sam's
I said,
gonna do
we
that
have
one
no
delve, that's
gameplay or
right.
anything like that, but it does seem like a lot of fun.
Bare
It does
minimum.
definitely seem like an amalgamation of islands and visions and Torghast and everything like that. I just hope it doesn't end up like some of those features that we've seen in the past. But again, we will definitely see. We'll be leaving a ton of feedback. I know for sure I will be doing a ton of these once Alpha launches, hopefully around
Yeah,
April.
we'll do these. These look
and
cool.
no doubt we'll be doing it on stream and things like that. I really just want this feature to be good, as it's an evergreen feature that we will see continued. This is likely going to be the content that I do to progress my character in the future, so it has to be good, and I really hope so, but we will certainly see. So guys, let me know what you think of Delves in the War Within. Are you excited? Are you nervous? How do you feel about them? If I missed any other major information, of course, let me know in the comments below as well. But yeah, if you like this video, guys, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon, and I'm on Twitter at MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And as mentioned, I am streaming
Link
on
in the chat.
twitch.tv/MrGM.
Check it out, guys.
If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, Dragonflight PTR, and more, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.
Great video. Yeah, great video. I mean, whether or not I can give my actual opinion on Delves yet, I think it's a bit premature to do that. But I can say that I am excited for them. I think it's cool, open world content. I've been calling for that for a while, so I'm glad that they're trying, at least. So this could be a cool first step to a lot more open world content. That's for sure.